Hey everybody, I'm on vacation, but I wanted to sound off on a particular piece of legislation that's being considered in Arizona right now. Apparently, Arizona has taken a, particular case, one particular case it looks like, even though they have intimated that there are other cases, really a terrible case where a low-level offender actually reoffended inappropriately touching children. And the suggestion doing a bit more than that, even with animals, unfortunately. So Arizona's solution is to immediately move into action and develop a some kind of comprehensive board to deal with the so-called sex offender. Um, because again, as I said, there are many people on the sex offender registry, and it's important to understand just who is on there and just what their level of offense, such as it is, considering that we know that predatory police practices are putting people who are not a danger to children actually on the registry. So be that as it may, you've got that issue, the controversy with the registry and who's on there. You have the issue of now some people who've done some inappropriate things now being considered to be the first targets, and I say target literally, of a sex offender management board. And this report out of Arizona, which I'll append here to the video in the course in the description, talks about determining risk and management and looking at case by cases and sort of euphemistically going through it, but they never get around to saying what it really is. At the end, the father whose child was inappropriately touched says, "Well, we hope that it will make things a lot more safer for children and less safer for so-called predators." You can understand a father saying that. I would probably say the same thing and think the same thing. But what I worry about is the fact that we can have all this data of all these people who have never recidivated, who have never done anything. We have all these people coming in who actually have never been on a registry and who have done something. I'm not sure how it's really going to do anything but make us feel better about somehow protecting children. I'm not sure it's going to do a darn thing. And more suspiciously than that, I wonder what these boards are actually going to do. Are they really going to look at a case by case basis where they say, this person hasn't done anything for a long time. In fact, let's look at his case. He never actually touched anybody, he never attempted to touch anyone. So maybe we ought to not have the person on there, maybe not have them supervised as often, maybe not have them looked at. Probably not. Probably what they're going to do is say, oh, wow, we have to be a lot tougher on all these people and make it even more difficult. Because remember, there's collateral damage to this that also on the back end affects children of the so-called offender, affects the communities of the so-called offender by scaring them unnecessarily. It creates more hassle and more problems because they don't have enough state troopers to take care of and monitor the people they have because they have the wrong people and too many people on the sex offender registry. And furthermore, you've got situations over and over again where the people who offend aren't even on any kind of list or registry. So I'm not sure how this is going to do anything but increase the incidence of harassment for people like me and people like many others who are on there. Prevent them from getting gainful employment so that if they are doing something, they can stay out of trouble because some good citizen will be calling up mentioning that they did X, Y, or Z, and prevent them otherwise from living a normal life. The collateral damage, well, let me give you some example. You don't have any debts. The police do an illegal sting. They damage your reputation because you're arrested. You're fired from your job. You take whatever period of incarceration because, of course, they bully you into a plea deal. Then you take your so-called deal. And when you finally get out, you're under community supervision, custody, whatever they call it in your particular state. Then, of course, you've racked up all this debt, so you're sued for the debt. They get a garnishment of the wages that you already have, which isn't much if you have any. that further pushes you into poverty, creates a situation like some people do where they say, well, F it, I'll just go to prison, I'll just go to jail because at least I'm there. And then you turn around and say, look at the recidivism rate. Okay. So remember, everything feeds on itself. And it's important that if you're going to have a board like that, that you really look not only at child safety, which we all want, we really do, but you understand that it has limits. It's not going to be the panacea that you think it is. And it's going to create additional problems and collateral damage that you're going to have to deal with as well. As I mentioned, uh, Florida tried this 25 years ago when I was down there. They had all the sex offenders away from every place they could possibly be at. And, all those who were formerly incarcerated huddled under a couple of bridges. Then they were worried and upset and angry. What are these people huddled under the bridges for? Well, they couldn't get work. They couldn't afford housing. They couldn't take care of their families. Okay. They were racked with debt, mental illness, addiction, and worse that they didn't have before, by the way. Okay. So, really is an exercise in public policy. And I don't believe for a moment Arizona will do it, but they really need to look at all of the collateral effects and all of the damage that they're doing because it could feed on itself and make it even worse for children in the future. This is Norman Michaelation. This is ICAC Unpacked on vacation, the 19th of September, 2024. Have a good day.